Hello and welcome to another edition of Workforce Watercooler. I am Leslie, and if you notice, John and Brian are nowhere to be found. They are off doing frivolous things, I'm sure. But that's okay because I have the most awesome special guest in the history of the universe. I call him Jay-Z because his initials are Jay-Z, Joshua, and I want to make sure I'm saying it right. Zach, Zach,
It close Zaczek.
Zaczek.
Yeah.
So sort of like Sajak,
Sure. Yeah, if that helps you remember.
if that helps
Definitely.
me remember.
Yeah.
So Zaczak, yeah, now I've
hmm
got it. So it
hmm
it it is close enough to Pat Sajak for
Right.
me to
To
remember
just
that.
make that leap. Yeah.
And I will tell you, I don't know what it is, but if you have a Z, if you have a Z in your last name,
hmm
people lose their minds.
It's true. And I've got two. So just my whole life it's been
Wow.
wow. Yeah.
See, my maiden name was LZ,
Mm.
had
And you
one
gave that up.
Z,
Wow.
yeah, had one
Yeah.
Z, but the name had a big Z sound. And
That's right.
people
Yeah.
couldn't get past that.
hmm
They'd be like, "What?" Like they had no idea how to say it, and I was like, LZ,
Z.
like
Just
the
like
letter
it is.
L, the letter Z,
And then you're
LZ.
done. Quick and efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I was in school, I always like anything that was in alphabetical order, I just know that I was
Oh,
automatically at the end. So like lining up and stuff, I was like, oh no. But in like a stack of papers, I can always just grab mine immediately. So
yes.
there's ups and downs, you know? You gotta take
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Alphabetical order. You know, I mean, I think teachers should mix it up. Mix it
Yeah.
up. Go in
hmm
reverse alphabetical order.
That's happened once or twice. I've never seen anyone brave enough to start in the middle, you know?
Oh, that would be tricky.
Right? That'd be like a kind of chaos that you've got to plan for, but I think it could really do something.
Yeah, I mean that you're talking unprecedented right there.
Exactly. Changing the world of education.
Yes, yes. Well, Jay-Z is your official title is what?
Workforce participation lead, which doesn't explain a lot of what I do, but it looks fancy.
It does look fancy. It
Yeah.
does. It sounds fancy.
hmm
So, as a workforce participation lead,
hmm
is it safe to say that your primary task
hmm
is investigating workforce participation?
Yes, I guess workforce participation is in the title, so it gives you more of a clue than you would think. But yeah, so because my position is connected to WKU and their Center for Research and Development, so the whole thing, like research is the big bulk of it, of like gathering data and numbers on workforce participation and reasons behind workforce participation, and then kind of trying to get those at the county level and apply
Mhm.
them in real life to help people actually get jobs and get back into the workforce.
Right.
hmm
So, and there may be some people that are like, okay, they keep saying workforce participation, and I
hmm
don't really know what that's referring to. So just, in everyday language, workforce participation is also known as labor force participation. How many
hmm
people are actively working?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Working or looking for work. 'Cause people go off like the unemployment rate a lot, but what
hmm
they don't realize is that anyone who's unemployed is still actively looking for a job. if you stop looking for a job, you just give up and say, I don't want to work anymore, then you're not counted in the unemployment rate anymore, but you've now exited the workforce and lowered the workforce participation rate. So,
Oh,
mhm.
so already learned something there. So one of the things that we're doing is we're doing these Workforce Collective events
Mhm.
across every county in our region.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that we adopted that approach is because when I first started with the board, um, we, and I mean, it was an every year kind of thing. We would have a workforce summit
Mm.
and, like a big event at the Corvette Museum. And, I mean, it was a good thing,
Mhm.
but we wanted our primary audience to be employers.
Yeah.
And that's not what was happening. And I think employers, businesses, business owners, HR folks,
Mhm.
the administrative people, plant managers, they are very, very, very busy people.
Yeah.
We know that.
Mhm.
So the thought was, okay, if this one event trying to get everybody from the region to come to one place on one day is not doing what we want it to do. I mean, we had great
Mhm.
attendance. We had more community partners and community organizations, which, I mean, that's great. We just
Mhm.
wanted to get employers there too. So we're doing a roadshow concept, and I would say every workforce collective, and we've done what so far? Four,
Three,
three,
I think. Yeah,
three.
we've got the fourth one next Friday. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So the collective events, we go county to county, and we're utilizing each county's chamber of commerce. We're saying, hey, please help us get employers to this event. And the reason why we really want to speak to employers is because our sole focus is on workforce participation,
Uh-huh.
trying to get people into the workforce. And, as I mentioned, Josh is a key part of that because he's the one who's really doing the deep dive into numbers, looking at, hey, this county has X number of these individuals not working based on their age or based on, a number of factors. And so we're trying to communicate that to employers. Here's where you are, and here are some things that will help you improve as far as getting more people into the workforce. What are, just in general, and you don't have to give like specific counties or whatever,
Uh-huh.
what are some of the more interesting things that you have come across as you're
Ooh.
researching who's working in South Central Kentucky or who
Mhm.
isn't working?
Yeah. I get really interested when I find like a very specific category of people that you wouldn't have thought of, but like are struggling to get into the workforce. Like in a lot of counties so far, um, people with children under 6 are participating in the workforce okay to not great sometimes, and people with children over 6 are also doing somewhat okay. But people with kids below 6 and kids between 6 and 17, once you get both, something happens that people just start exiting the workforce. Um, and the real fun part about that is like trying to go into why and seeing like what's actually going on. So it might be like a childcare issue. So I start looking into numbers for how many childcare facilities there are in a particular county if that number is bad. It might just be that if you're planning on having multiple children, maybe one of the parents likes to stay home more. So like it could just be a
Mhm.
cultural thing. And it's those rabbit holes that I really like when I see something that I don't
Mhm.
expect and then I get to learn something new.
Right.
Hmm.
Well, because you're trying to figure out, okay, this is, for lack of a better term, maybe an anomaly. This is a
Hmm.
weird thing. So
Yeah.
what has caused this to be this way?
Exactly. Uh-huh.
And I will be the first to say that at these events, we make no claims of having all the answers because
Oh
we
no.
don't,
Hmm.
you know. But I think it's really interesting to be able to, like, we start off the events with, hey, here is this county's workforce participation rates
Hmm.
compared to like the United States overall.
Yeah.
And just that is eye-opening to a lot of
Hmm.
people in the audience. They're like, wow, I didn't know that we were below the national average,
Hmm.
or I didn't know we were above the national average. So it's very interesting to start looking at, the black and white, the
Hmm.
facts behind all
Yeah.
this.
Hmm.
And I think we have, and I don't know about you, but I mean, I hear it almost on a daily basis, the whole nobody wants to work anymore.
Constantly. Anytime I tell people what my job is, the first thing that they'll like want to offer is, "Oh, well, they just don't want to." I'm like, "Oh, well, there's a little bit more there, you know.
Yeah,
We can dive deeper into it than that."
yes.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're trying to do.
Hmm.
Um to give people watching a glimmer of hope.
Hmm.
There are people out there, and that do want to work. So we're going to go ahead and just say no. That as a blanket statement goes, it's
Yeah.
not it's not completely accurate.
Hmm.
Um, so what we're trying to do is show each county, okay, in your county, these are populations, these are different pockets
Hmm.
of groups that, they are not working. We're trying to figure out the reasons behind that, or at least some of the bigger ones, so we can work toward getting them either into the workforce or back into the workforce if
Hmm.
they left. So I mean, all the stuff that we talk about, you know, and I've been in the education field for years. I've sat through so many presentations, seminars, all that stuff. And a lot of them are very dry, and you're just like, oh
Sure.
my
Hmm.
gosh, I am, you know, if I only had a few minutes to live, put me in this presentation because it would seem
It'll
like
last
I'm living a
forever.
lot longer,
Yeah.
you know. Um, but these events, to me, they are
Hmm.
not like that.
I think we get a lot of like engagement from the employers that show up in the room because once that's what I like about doing it like at the county level and the local level is like once you tell someone, well, this pocket in this county isn't working very much and like there's X amount of people not there, then you get to hear all of the experience of all of these people who actually live in the county and know what's going on and they'll say like, oh, well, this and this and this, and then it like really sparks a big discussion, and it feels like we're actually making progress, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and sort of back to the whole nobody wants to work anymore.
Hmm.
Um, I can't tell you how many meetings I've been in that same conversation just happens over and over and over, and
Yeah.
it gets you nowhere. I
No,
mean,
it's it's kind of defeatist, to
yeah.
say like, well, we can't really do much because they just don't wanna. And it's like, well, there's some percent of people that like just
Mhm.
don't want to work, but you can definitely get your workforce participation up to the nation without like including those people who aren't working. And you just gotta find them.
Right, right. And one of the things that we do, not only like Josh covers the data portion,
Hmm.
and then Brian Becker, he goes into like the different age groups, different populations, because different generations behave differently
Hmm.
in a work environment, have different attitudes toward work. And so he covers a lot of that, you know.
Hmm.
And so he gives a good understanding of different, I guess, mindsets that people may be in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Like the
then
best way to approach, kind of.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And then I come in at the end and I talk about marketing and branding and even something as specific as how you set up for a job fair. All of those things have so much more of an impact than you may think on the person who is showing up, the person who
Hmm.
is looking to work. And so what we as a workforce board are trying to do is give employers every single tool possible to say, hey,
Hmm.
you now know this, understand this, have these specific things that you can do. And with all this together, you should be able to find more
Yeah.
candidates,
Hmm.
better candidates, and actually get them on the job.
Hmm. It's like giving them all of the tools they need to get the job done, like,
Yeah.
hmm
So what would you rank this in terms of, like, if we've got business people watching this right now
hmm
on a scale of 1 to 10?
yeah.
What would you say, hey, here, this is how important it is for you to go to this event?
Oh, a 10, I'd say. See, a lot of people would like go above the scale at this point, but I'm a numbers guy and I really respect the parameters you set. So I'm just gonna go with a 10. Um, but I everything starts at your workforce, at your business. So like if you can't do that, you can't operate, you can't make whatever you're trying to do, you can't reach whatever audiences you're trying to reach or like complete your mission. Like it's really the foundation of your business is going to be your workforce, and attracting them and keeping them and knowing who is around that you have the option to bring in and hire, and knowing how to actually get them in. So if you want to be sustainable, I'd say you absolutely need all of this information.
Very good.
Mhm.
Very good. And before we close, on a side note, one of the
Mhm.
things that, as I mentioned, Brian Becker talks about generational differences and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And I don't just to set the record straight, because I don't know if anyone's picked up on this already.
Uh-huh.
Josh and I are in different generations. I
it's
was
subtle,
born,
but
I was born before Josh was.
hmm
We won't go into how long ago or how much, earlier I
uh-huh.
was born before you.
Right.
But Josh and I are from different generations. And I think we are living proof
hmm
that different generations can work together well.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's not my way or the highway. You figure out,
hmm
hey, this is how we need to do stuff.
Yeah.
And, Josh has watched the Super Bowl performance by Prince.
hmm
I recommended that and he watched
Yep.
it and he liked it, right?
Exactly. And I watched Airplane, the movie.
Yes,
So,
yes,
we're bridging divides here with media.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And pop culture brings people together.
hmm
It really does as far as generationally. So
Oh.
Josh is getting a unique insight into, my era by my exposing him to music and cinema and, all kinds of stuff. And I listened to something that you recommended.
Yeah. I said you should listen to the Glass Animals and you went and you did
Yes.
it. So
Yes,
I
and
was
they
yeah. I was surprised. People don't usually like actually that like, oh, what sort of music do you listen to? And then someone just like forgets what you say. But like you actually went and listened, and I was like, wow.
Yes, I did. I listened to it as I was driving around town. And
Mm.
it was sort of hypnotic. It was
Yeah.
relaxing.
hmm
So I could see it as a good something to have in the background while you're trying to do stuff. I could see
Exactly.
that. So,
Exactly. hmm
you know, so if you have not signed up for a workforce collective in your county,
hmm
I'm telling you, you heard it here straight from Jay-Z's mouth. 10 out of 10, you need to be there.
hmm
Um, I'm speaking very candidly. It it will be worth your time. It is, these are 2 hours. They are free. You have to register ahead of time because we have to have records of all who's attending. We need to make sure we have enough capacity to hold everybody. But it's just one of those you register with a few
hmm
questions and you're done. So sign up for your county, but the opportunity to get free, good, thorough
hmm
information and advice for your business, no strings attached,
Yeah.
that those opportunities don't come by very often.
Almost ever, I'd say. So.
Yeah.
hmm
Yeah. So we're telling you, we're not going to be pulling you into any pyramid schemes or anything like that.
hmm
We are here to give you data, give you information, and then give you tools to help bring it all together so
Yep.
you can help increase workforce participation, not only for your county, but specifically for your business. So we hope, if we haven't seen you already, we
hmm
hope to see you at the next one in your county. They're fun. They're energetic, and I think they're beneficial.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Any parting words, Jay Z?
Um. I mean, I think you put it really well. I hope that we see a lot of turnout at these future things. I have fun with them. So the more people, the better. Would that's my ulterior motive. Is just like a room full of people to talk about things. So yeah.
All right, good deal. Well, I think I think that we are onto something with this concept that we've
Mm-hmm.
designed, and each session to me gets a little bit better. You
Yeah. Oh
know,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
we're learning from every single one.
Mm-hmm.
So we invite you to check out on our website. If you go to the events tab, we've got a listing of all the different collectives. All the ones are scheduled except Simpson and Warren.
Mm-hmm.
Those will be coming up, probably late summer,
Yeah.
early fallish,
Mm-hmm.
just because we got 10 counties and trying to get them all planned and coordinated and all that. But it's good stuff. It's good stuff. We would not lead you astray.
Oh yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, thank you so much, Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Excellent job. I
Thank
think
you.
I think this will probably go viral.
I think that's the goal, right? Is
Yeah.
we're gonna be famous workforce YouTubers now, and it's gonna be
Yes.
great.
Yes. Yes. So at these events, please don't ask us for autographs.
Yeah, we just get so swamped.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. All right. Join us again next time and we will see you soon.
Right?